Hello everybody, this is Troy Kostasik for Explorminate4x.com, here doing a Let's Play video of Worlds of Magic. It's been a while since we've done one of these, so I thought I'd open it up and try my best at it. So this is what the game looks like when you load it up. I'm going to go down here to Options to begin with, and just show you some things that I do, when I play this game. The music and sound effects in this game are really, really loud, and I'm actually just going to turn that down almost all the way because it will get repetitive and very annoying for you for listening. I've got the music down to 2%. It'll still be loud enough for you to hear. So anyway, when you get this game, if you buy it for the first time, turn these things down. They're just way too loud. I have my mouse selection here at set at RTS like. That's left click to select, right click to act on the world map. The game may have these different other keyboard inputs empty or not set. If that's the case for you, just hit these reset input buttons and that'll populate them for you with what you're used to in other games. So alright, that's options. Gonna start a game as a single player. When you click on that, you're presented with this screen. There are 7 different planes to choose from. My favorites are Prime, Paradise, and Water. Those are the 3 I like best. I really recommend that if you're new to the game, you stay away from Air and Fire and Shadow. They can be really difficult to use. And if you look at the tooltip there, it gives you some information. For instance, Shadow, you can produce extra power, but it's really hard to produce food. Air produces a lot of gold, but it's hard for your cities to build buildings, build units, things like that. Today I'm going to choose Prime, and I'm also going to do Earth, just to kind of show you what that looks like. I'm going to make the land mass on that one kind of smaller. I'm going to choose Pangea for both. That way I don't have to mess with the boats in the game. Alright, feature density, this is stuff like dungeons and things like that. I'm going to make them frequent. Resource density, gold, silver, fish, that sort of thing. I like having lots of those, so that'll be countless. Neutral cities on common is fine. I just am going to keep these default settings over here. Like on a medium-sized map, the game only lets you have up to 4 opponents. If that's not enough, I mean, you can go up to ridiculous size here and get up to 12 opponents if you really want that many. But I gotta warn you, these sizes here for Colossal and even Gigantic, they are very big maps. If you're not going to devote a lot of time to playing this game, small, medium, large is where it's at. Next, move on to faction. These are all the different factions you can play. The game starts with 8 of them. They're all, they have their own personality. They're all pretty good to play. If you've watched any of our previous Let's Plays, you know what they look like. I'm going to choose the Dwarfs this time. A lot of people say the Dwarves aren't very good, that they can't win with them, that they're not that much fun to play. So I'm going to try them out. I've only played them a couple of times, so I'm going to try them out and see if they're right. I don't think they're too bad. They have a lot of decent units, in my opinion. All right, once you have your faction selected, you move on. You choose your Sorcerer Lord. This is basically your in-game avatar. On the left here, you type in your name, and I'll just put Troy. And then choose a flag color. I'm going to go with red. Then underneath those, you have disciplines. Disciplines are like special abilities that your Sorcerer Lord can get. There's a lot of them here. Some of them are grayed out, like you see here. You know, uh, these are only if you take a certain number of spell circles, they'll appear. Like, okay, this one is for destruction, so if I take all 9 points in destruction, destruction mastery appears, and what that does is it gives me a 15% discount on research and casting destruction spells. They're also harder to resist, and I get more starting spells. But I don't really like um, being specialized in one of these different schools of magic. I like being more of a generalist. So I'm going to choose my disciplines first. I'm going to choose Alchemist, which lets me change mana into gold and gold into mana at a reduced cost. And I really like the Augmentation School, which has a lot of enchantments. So I'm going to choose Enchanter. That gives me a discount to cast them. So I really like that. That gives me 10 points. And like I said, I like to be a generalist. So I'm going to put 1 point in earth, 1 point in life, 1 in water, 1 in fire, 1 in summoning, 1 in augmentation, 1 in biomancy. That leaves me with 3. That's not a whole lot. I'd like to have a few more. So I'm going to go over here to these negative disciplines. Instead of costing points, like Alchemist and Enchanter did, they're going to give me points. One I usually choose is Tyrant. It increases unrest in all my cities by 10%, but I can usually handle that without too much trouble. I'm also going to choose Butcher, which means anytime I conquer an opponent's city, I kill off 100% more people. So if I were to kill off 1,000 people normally, I'll kill off 2,000. That's not a big loss. They'll just make more. So, alright, that gets me up to 7 points. That's pretty good. So I'm going to move this up to 5. And that one up to 3. Let's make that one 6. I really like augmentation. So this is how I usually set up my schools of magic. There's no right way to do it. This is just the way I prefer. Once I do that, I can choose my portrait. You can see over here on the right-hand side of the screen, there's a picture, and there's a lot of different sorcerer lords to choose from. Here down there at the bottom, they're all pretty cool looking. I like them all, but there are a few that are my favorites that I choose. I really like him. I think it's pretty cool. You can play a beholder. She's pretty cool. I like this guy a lot. I play with her a lot because I like the Grey Elves. They're a really good faction. I think today, though, I'm going to be a dragon. So let's choose him. He looks alright. And then after you do that, you get to choose your spells. These are spells you will begin the game with. So something your character already knows how to cast. I'm going to start here at Earth. And what I do is to make sure I try to get all these is I start with whatever school is furthest on the left, and then I go clockwise on the outside and then clockwise on the inside. Doesn't always work. Sometimes I still forget. So anyway, start with the Earth Circle. I'm going to choose Mineral Attunement, which is an enchantment that will increase my production in a city by 25%. Go to Life and choose Heal. It's really important to be able to heal your units in this game, so I like that spell a lot. Go on to Water, and I want a direct damage spell, so I'm going to choose Ice Bolt. Go to Fire. I'm going to choose Walking Bomb. Walking Bomb is a really cool spell. What you do is you cast it on an enemy unit, and when that enemy unit dies, it explodes, and it can do up to 36 damage to all the other units that are around it. So if you can kill it quickly at the beginning of combat, you can score a lot of damage on your enemy's units. You kind of need ranged units to do that, and the Dwarves do have some good ranged units, but they don't start with them right away. So Walking Bomb won't be a great spell, right off the bat for me, but it'll be really good later on. Summoning. There used to only be like 3 summoning spells in Worlds of Magic, but they've added a lot of them in the last, I don't know, month or so. I used to always take Raised Zombies, but now I kind of like Phantom Warriors better. Um, Sprites are another good choice because they can fly, and so if you play on a map that's not a Pangea map, choosing sprites isn't bad because you'll be able to hop over the water with them. Uh, Skeletons have resistance to piercing damage, so a lot of ranged units won't be able to damage them. So if you know if you're going up against like the Grey Elves, for instance, which start with archers, which is a really good ranged unit, they aren't too bad. But I really like the Phantom Warriors. I think they're the best summoning spell here at the moment. So anyway, moving on. Uh, for augmentation, I get 6 spells, which is a lot. Um, I'm going to choose Keen Edge, which increases the critical range my melee units have. It's a cheap spell. I think it only costs 3 mana to do in combat. And in the early game, like you're going to be really low on mana. You're not going to have a really high casting skill. So having a cheap spell you can do in combat is really nice. I'm going to choose Aid, which gives my units extra hit points and bonuses to their saving throws, so they're harder to kill. Fertile Soil, so I can make more food. Um, let's see. I'm going to choose Freezing Weapon, Giant Strength, and I don't know. Uh, Leap isn't a bad choice. Um, most cities, especially in the mid to late game, are going to have a wall, and you need some way to breach that wall. Leap is a good cheap spell for getting a unit over a wall. But the dwarves have units that have wall crushing abilities. They have a siege engine, and they have a caster unit that can cast a spell that damages walls. So I don't need that with the dwarves, but maybe for another faction that would be alright. Water walking isn't too bad either. Again, if you're playing on a map other than Pangea, you need a way to get units from one landmass to another past water tiles. So water walk is good. I think I'm going to just choose Bless Weapon though. I think that'll be alright. Okay, and then Biomancy is the last school I'm going to choose from. What do I want here? Well, I definitely want Cold Weakness. I picked up Ice Bolt here from Water and Freezing Weapon here from Augmentation. So Cold Weakness makes my target more vulnerable to cold attacks, so I'll do more damage, have a better chance to hit. So I definitely want that. If I meet some flying units, I need something to help me fight them, so that's good. What else do I want, though? You know, let's go back up here. I got Heal here, but I can also get it in Biomancy. So you know what? I think I'm going to take Heal off here. I'm going to get Tranquility over here. I chose Tyrant, which increases Unrest. Tranquility is an enchantment for a city that reduces Unrest. So I can just cast an enchantment and get past that penalty I took earlier. So, alright, go back here, choose Heal. That looks good. That looks good. Okay. Oh. Huh. I thought I chose all my spells. Oh, I must have missed one. What did I miss? Oh. Here. Phantom Warriors. I thought I clicked on that. Oh well. The game kind of protected me from cheating myself out of that opportunity there. So, nice little piece of design. Good. Alright, that should be it. Yep, alright. It'll take a little while for the game to load the map. The more planes you play with, the longer it'll take the map to load, so it's got to build each plane. Here we go. Yep, I'm starting on the plane of Earth. Plane of Earth is not one of my favorites. It's a drier plane. There's less water, which means less food, which means less population growth. So it's a little bit more difficult to play with. But I think that's where the dwarves always start. So there we are. Alright, when you get into the game, the first thing it's going to want you to do is to move your army around. And here's my little army guys. And I'm going to move them there so you can see them a little bit better. But those are my dwarven units that I get to start with. And I want to go explore. And I want to look at some world features or dungeons to see if I can pick up some easy loot. So I'm going to try moving them toward this great oracle to begin with. And then after that, go to my city. And I gotta choose something to build. And I'm going to start. You can see all the different buildings I can do here. These that are in red mean I can't build them yet. I haven't gotten the prerequisites for them. So I'm going to start with a granary. A granary will, let's see if I can get that tooltip back up. There it is. Increase my food production by 2. It also increases maximum storage by 5. And I think it also provides a bonus to population growth. So this will help me grow my city, gain more food, which helps me sustain larger armies. So that's really important. Not going to build any units right now, but you can kind of have a look at them. They're animated for you here in the menu, so that's kind of neat. Not going to start with that right now. So, okay, city's ready to go. I'm starting with a few resources up here. Gold, which gives me, or I'm sorry, silver ore, which gives me extra gold income. Gems, which is even more gold income. Wow, that's nice. Look at that, +5. And then iron ore, which gives me bonus production income. That helps me build things. So, alright, good. Last thing it's going to want me to do is to choose a spell to research. And I'm pretty lucky on this. These are some decent spells here. Raise Militia will let me summon like my basic military unit in combat. So that's not too bad. But I really like Acid Elemental. That is a good spell. It's tier 2. So it's like a 2nd level spell from the Earth and Summoning schools. Man, I like that one. I'm really glad I got that one to begin with. Okay. Raider's Luck is not a bad one to take early either. Costs a lot more to research. 300 points. That's a lot. But it does increase the rewards I get when I explore dungeons and things by 20%. But I'm not going to go with that. Go with Acid Elemental. Nice summoning spell right here. And, okay. That's it. That's what game setup turn 1 looks like in Worlds of Magic. I think that's where I'll quit this video, and I'll pick it up in the next episode where I actually get to start exploring and exploiting the map. So anyway, hope you enjoyed it. This is Troy Kostasic for Explorminate4x.com. Excuse me, .com. And have a good night, everyone.